Welcome back again. It's Man to Man Show with Tim Brown and Vince Bailey, and we were talking to him about, the husband said that his wife had got extra freaky, and he was wondering where that came from.
Right.
And as you talked more about it, I mean, it made so much sense that perhaps there was something in his or her, could be something in someone's past
Right.
that then could the adverse effect
Right.
of, hey, don't touch me like that because I was touched like that before. But then at the same time, I mean, I'm amazed at how wild some folks can get with this whole
Right.
sexual thing.
Right.
You know, married couples, notwithstanding, everybody, how wild they can get.
Sexual deviance.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
with the whips and the chains and the putting the rubber on. I mean, what is that all about? Is that natural?
I definitely would have to say that it isn't natural for me.
Okay.
You know, my wife, we already know.
What about this
there won't
picture
be
right
any
here,
whip.
Tim? Right. No, I understand.
No whips. My wife
Right.
is not allowed to hit me with whips. So, you know, for some people, they have this mindset where they do things that are just out of the ordinary, that are just strange, that are totally different. And, you know, I don't try to judge or criticize people for what they do, because what I say for a lot of people, just it won't change the way they feel. You know, when you think about people that have sexual conditions where they have to have multiple partners. You know, some people just have issues that they themselves can't stop or correct on their own. And when I think about that, the deviancy that takes place in some people's sexual relationship, you know, it's puzzling to me how they can be excited
Right.
about some things that they do, but if that's what they choose to do,
They call it different strokes for different
Different
folks. You
strokes for
know,
different
keep
folks.
it in your bedroom,
Right,
though. Don't
exactly.
bring it over to the. But you know, and earlier, previously, you were talking about, you know, the fact that, and we're hearing, I mean, all these stars, you know,
Right.
who were touched, molested as kids,
Right.
and how that can, you know, affect you as an adult, of
Right.
course, in your relationship and your marriage. So if someone, you know, a man in particular, had been something that happened in his life in the past, is that something that you need to share with your spouse? I mean, do you think that keeping it in can be helpful, or how should they deal with a situation like that?
it's so critical that you talk about it, because we get into relationships, and that's one of the reasons why I'm such a big proponent of premarital counseling.
Okay.
Getting into that, because there are so many things that you will learn and understand about one another and about yourself, that we see so many people learn about themselves that they didn't realize where certain behaviors and tendencies came from.
Right.
It came from their past. And we all have scenarios, we all have certain things that we do. And there's a reason that we are the way we are. And in premarital counseling, we help a lot of people understand how and why they are the way they are.
Right.
And that makes them become a better spouse and a better person for their spouse, because they understand who they are. Because if you don't know how to be loved, it's hard to give love.
to give love,
It's hard
yeah.
to give love.
Yeah.
And it's just important to talk about it, because it just makes it easier when you do that.
And it's amazing. I mean, when you see the statistics again, you're hearing about celebrities, but
Right.
I mean, you know, you could go probably through your family, and I don't know any statistics, but I would say, you know, 1, 2 out of every 10,
Right.
at least something has happened in their
Something has happened,
past.
right.
And, you know, for guys, I know that can really be devastating, because, you know, with macho, no one's ever touched us.
Right.
And, has affected, and may be part of the reason why we have so much divorce going on, that people just don't communicate, and they've got these suppressed
Right, absolutely.
things going on.
And I actually had experience, you know, with someone that was molested, you know, as a child, and as an adult, you know, he still struggled with that. So going into a relationship, preparing to be married, made it difficult, because in the back of his mind, he felt as though he had to prove to himself
Right.
that he wasn't a homosexual
Right.
by engaging in multiple relationships with
Right.
different women.
Yes.
So it was difficult to deal with. And, you know, he was not old, but, you know, older than, he was 40-ish.
Yes.
And this was something that he was still dealing with.
Wow.
So only 2, maybe 3 people in his lifetime had ever known about what he experienced. So it makes a difference what you deal with in your lifetime and how it affects your current relationship. So a lot of people will say, let the past be the past. But if you don't understand your past, it's going to dictate your future. And if you don't know what has taken place in your past, you don't realize or understand why you do the things you do. And it's important that we do that.
Well, hopefully, we know someone that's viewing this, hearing this, it can help you, and that you just need to seek some help and be able to talk about it and get it out. I mean, it's not an end all that now your life is devastated because you had this, uncle back in the day that, did these things to you, because you can overcome that. And perhaps a lot of times, things happen for a reason. Perhaps you can use that then to help some other young folks that are coming up, and having to deal with some scenario like that. Or, of course, you can talk to a counselor like Tim, and he can help work through that kind of scenario.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, help at mantomanshow.com. That's the website to get your questions in. When we come back, we got a man that's dealing with some bad A kids, and you know how that is. So you don't want to go anywhere. It's Man to Man Show.